Magabanan, folks. Today we have yet another very interesting integral that was sent to me as a gift. Yes, that's right. People gift each other integrals all the time. This is perfectly acceptable and normal social behavior that should be encouraged. Anyway, this was sent to me by my good friend Abdurrahim Malik from the UK. That's the United Kingdom. Apologies for my horrific accent. But the point is that we have the integral from 1 to 2024 of 1 minus negative 1 raised to... You must be thinking at this point, what have I gotten myself up to? Why have I clicked on this video on YouTube when I saw clearly in the thumbnail that this was exactly what I would be getting into? Congratulations, you have been chosen. And you enjoy wacky mathematics. Anyway, so we have negative 1 raised to a sum of functions, and these functions are indexed from 1 to 2024, where each f sub k of x is 1 if the fractional part of x over k is between 0 and 1 over k, and 0 otherwise. As a quick refresher, in case you're not familiar with the fractional part function, the fractional part function does exactly that. It spits out the fractional part of whatever you feed to it. For example, if you feed to it 69.420, it would spit out 0.420, and we see immediately that the fractional part of an integer is going to be 0. It's closely related to the floor function, where fractional part of x is equal to x minus the floor or integer part of x. So the integer part of this very special number is yet another very special number. Okay, cool. So with that refresher out of the way, let's now return to the case of the target integral. So what exactly would be our strategy to evaluate this thing? And in case you're thinking we should partition the interval from 1 to 2024, you are correct. That is a wise strategy when dealing with floor function and fractional part function integrals. So I'm actually going to partition this and write it as the sum over n from 1 to 2023 of the integrals from n to n plus 1 of 1 minus negative 1 to the sum of f sub k, where k goes from 1 to 2024 dx. So what does it mean when we have bound x between n plus 1 and n? Specifically, I'm asking what happens to the fractional part of x over k. Well, x over k is now bound between n over k plus 1 over k and n over k. And recall that f sub k is equal to 1 when the fractional part of x over k, terribly sorry about that, is between 1 over k and 0. So from these two inequalities, we note that this is the case only when n over k is a positive integer. So the case of f sub k of x, terribly sorry about that, f sub k of x being equal to 1 for a given k is equivalent to n over k being a natural number, or k dividing n. Of course, this is valid for x belonging to the interval between n and n plus 1. And this is actually quite useful because note that we have the integrals from n to n plus 1 of 1 minus negative 1, terribly sorry about that, raised to the sum of these f sub k's, which sorts out to integral from n to n plus 1 of 1 minus negative 1 to... Now, let's say that certain k's divide n. Then we would get 1 for those values and 0 for the others. And the zeros, of course, do not matter. So in essence, we're just dealing with a sum of ones, which could be either an even number or an odd number. And this is important because if the sum is even, then we have 1 minus 1, which is 0. And if the sum is odd, then we have 1 minus negative 1, which is 2. And hence, the the non-zero contributions to the integral result from cases where this sum is odd, as in we have an odd number of ones in the sum of f sub k. Okay, cool. So I here would equal twice the number of instances. Terribly sorry about that. My handwriting is, of course, atrocious. Where the sum of f sub k is odd. Now, what are those instances like we just figured out? These are the cases where you have an odd number of ones, and if you have an odd number of ones, that means you just have an odd number of k's that divide n. Now let's talk for a moment about divisors. Note that if k divides n, then n over k will also divide n, since n over k is just going to be equal to k, which itself is a positive integer. So what I'm trying to say is that divisors often come in pairs. For example, if you take a random positive integer like 10, we have the divisors 1, 2, 5, and 10. And you can see the n over k thing happening if I write them as 10 over 1, 10 over 2, 10 over 5, and 10 over 10. So divisors often appear in pairs. And what this means for the integral from 10 to 11 is that now you have an f sub 1, an f sub 2, an f sub 5, and an f sub 10 that all equal 1. So their sum is going to equal 4, which is, of course, an even number. So how do we get those cases where the number of divisors is actually an odd number? Well, that's easy. We look for the case where k and n over k are exactly the same number. And that results in k squared being equal to n, which implies that k here equals root n. But wait a second, k here is a positive integer, so k being equal to root n would mean that n is a perfect square. And that pretty much solves our issue, because along with 1 and n, you have this root n divisor in between. And you can see this for any perfect square. So that means what we need to do is figure out the number of perfect squares between n runs from 1 to 2023. So what we need is the number of instances where n is a perfect square. K dividing n when n is a perfect square will result in, well, a 1, and you'll have an odd number of ones, and you've solved the integral. So I'll restate the result I wrote out earlier as I equals 2 times the number of perfect squares between n equals 1 and 2023. Now, I'm not really very good at math. I mean math, as in calculations math. So instead of counting the squares really quickly, like everyone can do in their head, we're just going to note that 2025, the year in which this video is being recorded and released to YouTube, is actually 45 squared. And my trusted calculator told me that 44 squared is actually equal to 1936. So it can't be 45. There can't be 45 squares between 1 and 2023, because 45 squared is 2025. So that means we have 44 perfect squares. So the result is 2 times 44, and hence I here converges to 88. Beautiful result. Well, the result is unusual, because normally when you evaluate integrals, you rarely ever see numbers, but the solution development is quite beautiful. Some basic number theory in there, and I really like that touch. Thank you, Abdurrahim, once again for the integral. Thank you for watching. I hope you learned something from the video. I hope you liked the video. Be sure to like and subscribe. Drop me a follow on Instagram as well, because I post some math stuff over there as well. Thank you. See you next time.